Hey everybody, this is John for MTG Nexus coming at you with tonight's stream with some Yorion Scapeshift control. As a friendly reminder, if you like what you're seeing on the channel, and especially like modern content and a little bit of Pioneer here and there, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a constructive comment down below if you're watching this later on replay. So, once again, we're back to streaming Monday through Friday. I started a little bit earlier tonight, both because it was a day off from my normal day job, as well as the fact that these Yorion control decks, or just control decks in general, can take a lot longer to play through. So I figured I would give it a run. It's control enough, Space Marine. It's doing a lot of the same things as these control decks that are doing. I just happen to play a deck that has combo in it. So, anywho, a lot of the snow piles that, however people wish to address them, whether they control, combo, etc., have a lot of the same things in common. They're using things like Arcum's Astrolabe, Abundant Growth, Icefang, Coatl, and Uro to get to the mid-game, oftentimes using Planeswalkers to close out the game. This particular version is using Scapeshift as well as Uro as the primary clocks. This version is a little bit more tempo-based with Remands and Izzet Charms as opposed to things like Archmage's Charm, etc. But I tend to prefer control decks that end the game as opposed to ones that drag on, because making long, intense decisions can sometimes not play to my strengths, so I tend to like to have an I win button somewhere to play. Anywho, Renin 6 also rounds out your ability to get your lands. As far as lands go, you have some of the new Ketria Triomes, one of Cavernous Souls to make your Icefang, Coatls, and Uros uncounterable, 3 copies of Mystic Sanctuary that you can fetch up with your various fetch lands to recur your Cryptic Commands, your Scapeshifts, your Remands, etc. Beyond that, you're playing a bunch of basic snow-covered basics, because obviously you're playing Astrolabe, and then you're playing 2 copies of Valakut the Molten Pinnacle to go with all your mountains to be able to win with a Scapeshift. Those of you who aren't familiar with Scapeshift math, generally you need 7 lands in play to kill your opponent when they're at 18, 36 whenever your opponent is at, whenever you're at 8 lands, you can do up to 36 damage, and that kind of varies beyond that depending on how many mountains. As far as actual how many mountains in the deck, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so you got 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, because the triomes are 9. So you got to be mindful of your mountain count as you're playing. You want to try to leave as many mountains in your deck as possible. Usually you want to leave 6 mountains and your 2 Valakuts if possible. Sometimes that's not always possible. So sometimes you just have to kind of monitor your land count with this style of deck. I have some experience with Rug Scapeshift as well as Bring the Light Scapeshift, so a little bit different than Red-Green, which Red-Green is usually trying to turbo out the combo. This version is more of a tempo that lives long enough to do it. And then you also have things like a Growth Spiral and Uro to accelerate you into your land counts. Some might say an 80-card deck isn't really worth playing the extra cards, but when you look at it, you have 4 Abundant Growth, 4 Arcum's Astrolabe, 4 Icefang Coatl, 4 Remand, 4 Uro. All of these cards cantrip, Cryptic Command as well, depending on the mode you choose. So you have between 26 and 40 cantrips in the deck, depending on how you want to use your Mystic Sanctuaries, etc. So a whole lot of ability to recur what you're doing, so the deck is fairly small. So 80 cards may seem like a lot with Yorion, but the reality is you're playing a lot of cantrips and you're going to see a lot of cards. So as long as your Scapeshifts are usually within your top 30 or so cards, you're generally going to see it by the end of the game. And then obviously you have Uro as a kind of a backup win con, which isn't terrible either. Sideboard, one of these things that these Rug Scapeshift control decks were always a little bit weak to was more aggressive decks. So if you'll notice, there's a huge amount of Anger of the Gods here, as well as a copy of Weather the Storm. Also, Ether Gusts often come in against most of the aggressive decks, since the most prominent aggressive decks in the format are usually in red decks, whether it be Prowess or Burn. As far as beyond that, 2 copies of Veil of Summer, 3 copies of Mystical Dispute for the Blue Mirrors, which obviously have been on the uptick again. And then a copy of Spell Pierce also allows you to play a little bit of an early counter game. And then Yorion obviously isn't in the sideboard, but basically plays with your value plan on the main deck. Beyond that, pretty much a value deck. And as Space Marine might argue, it's not a control deck, but these Scapeshift decks at their heart are a combo control deck. Not unakin to something along the lines of the Through the Breach Scapeshift decks that have done well in recent memory, right before the companions were printed. So, I'm a huge fan of decks that can close out games, and the more we can close out the game, the better off we are likely to do. So, opponent does not have a... I mean, this is a keep, obviously. A little bit low on lands, but pretty reasonable overall. Unfortunately, we can't play Arboreal Grazer on turn 1 anyway, unless we draw an untapped land. That's a green source, but I think I'm perfectly fine with this hand against a lot of decks. Turn 2, could even potentially, if we draw another green source, go Arboreal Grazer into Coatl on turn. Huh. Might have been correct to play Don't see too many Concealed Courtyard decks. Oh, okay. Well, this is definitely going to be a challenge. Haven't seen Black-White Eldrazi and Taxes in some time. Get all of our tap lands in play here. Wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to set up a Thought-Knot-Seer lock. Take the 3. Flicker Wisp. Play Uro here. I think I'm just supposed to bolt this stupid Displacer right away. Not a card you want to leave around in any sort of capacity. It's a card that is extremely annoying to play against, especially if they get, with Flicker Wisp shenanigans, can be extremely difficult. Them taking away land drops, them taking away any number of things. And then if you recur it with a Thought-Knot-Seer, it really gets obnoxious. So, and it does not seem like they had a Thought-Knot-Seer. Well, Tide Hollow Skull is annoying. Beatable, but annoying. Presume they take Scapeshift, right? Yeah, and if they had Displacer going, this hand would get really obnoxious. Take Uro. Interesting. No blocks. Do I gamble at trying to hit a land, or do I just pass the turn here? I'm going to just pass the turn. I can do it at instant speed either way, depending on what they decide to do. Don't think I particularly care about Giver of Runes here. They have Path, they have Path. That's perfectly reasonable. So, how is Valakut worded? Because if memory serves correctly, one Ghost Quarter. If you control at least 5 other mountains, you may have Valakut. Okay, so I don't think they have a chance to respond to this. As long as I leave my basic mountain in the deck, I think we're good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Grab a Breeding Pool. Put all the mana. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so Valakut, Stomping Ground, Stomping Ground, Triumph, Steam Vents. Nope. And GG. Oh yeah, they're most likely packing Cat Jesus somewhere in their pile of goodness. Alright, do these four. Question is, what are we supposed to take out? Is it just the 4 remands? Because they're usually also a Vile deck. So, can be tricky to leverage remand. Veil of Summer hits what? Tide Hollow Sculler And any targeted discard. I think it's just 4 remands in or out for Anger of the Gods in. Though that does leave us a little bit cold to a Thought-Knot Seer if they go that high on the carve. But I think we're fine with that. Condescending noted. Space Marine. Alright, so Sand isn't the best, but I still think Cryptic Command potentially on 3, we go ahead and keep it. With our Ether Vial on 1. Yep. Like I said, they're an Ether Vial deck, unsurprisingly. That's an interesting one. I think we do this because I do have the ability to search for tomorrow on 2 here. Depending on, obviously, if we get hit by like a Tidehalla Sculler or something. Yep. I'm not sure if you're trolling or not, Foz. Not sure if you're trolling me or if you're trolling Space Marine. I mean, I could sit here and play a 3-color, 4-color snow pile, but the results generally aren't going to be good, so. So, I'm going to grab this and then grab the basic mountain, even though I really don't want to get my, let's get this out of the way, get the Cryptic Command back. That way there's no type of blinking shenanigans going on. Oh, there's a Thalia, sure. This is one of the historic drawbacks of these Scapeshift decks, is not hitting enough land drops. Oh, a Sculler would be annoying. Okay, that really doesn't do a whole lot. I guess it technically makes Scapeshift more difficult, but other than that, I think I'm good. That's a little rough. I'm gonna flicker out a land. Okay. Let's go Ashiok. Paying costs. Ether though? Sure. Nope. I wanted to put back, obviously. Not drawing lands is unfortunate. Okay, there are no cards in exile, if memory serves correctly. So why would our opponent play their land? Tap all creatures, opponent's control, draw a card. Not sure why our opponent would have played their land there. We'd love to hit Anger of the Gods, I think is the card we would most want to hit here. Tap. Just drawing too many. Does that allow us to stay alive is the question. So if I Abundant Growth for 2 mana or Search for Tomorrow, can still cast Coatl. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So this is 4. Puts us to 8, leaves us with 4 mana. Alternatively, I can Coatl, try to hit Anger of the Gods. I think I'm just supposed to Search for Tomorrow and try to set up the kill next turn. Hope they don't have anything here. Because obviously anything else throws off the math, so... We're just dead this game. Unfortunate. Wouldn't have had Anger of the Gods here anyway. I suppose an alternative line was I could have cast Yorion or Coatl into Yorion? Is that a line that I missed? Guess we went for the play to win line. It didn't quite work out, so. Veil of Summer, obviously annoying, or could come in, but once again, I think the only thing we've seen out of them that would hit would be Tidehull of Scholar's Trigger. So. This hand is quite decent. A little bit slow, but decent. So. Have 2 of our mountains in our hands. We have to be mindful of that. Do I shock in or just play a... Guess I can play basic mountain here, still hold up Bolt, and then next turn fetch a basic island and still burrow. Or could shock this and then play Anger of the Gods, depending on situation. Notably don't want to Bolt in addition in response to the trigger here, because then the card just goes away permanently. So I think the opponent is very incentivized just to take Bolt. We are notably drawing a few too many of our mountains. Put in the land they know about. Go through the turn. 1, 2, 3. That leaves us with 6 mountains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Opponent with a Wasteland Strangler. They can kill their own Scholar if they want, but otherwise they can't process the bolt. Sure. Not that terribly accomplished much. Okay, see what our opponent flashes on here. Yeah, Thalia is not particularly relevant here. Okay. It's going to be a scry too? Sure. Just willingly take this hit. Two, three, four, five, six. Wouldn't be surprised if our opponent has a Quaddle here. Not a Quaddle, a Flicker Wisp. I think I'm actually supposed to play Ice Fang this turn. Just to try to hit our lander up. Sure. I guess theoretically this keeps Uro from escaping. Kaya. Kaya is actually quite annoying. Have to absorb this hit to be able to kill Kaya. We're going to put a bolt back on our deck. Last turn. Take an Anger of the Gods here, most likely. The command's a pretty good one. Double Ghost Quarter notably could be annoying. Sure. Okay. I'm not sure what our opponent was trying to accomplish there with the pump out fake. I don't think there's anything on 3 that I care about there. Like, I guess Eldrazi Displacer theoretically would be annoying. Wait to see what they flicker here. Why would you do that main phase? I guess theoretically because you can take Cryptic Command here? So I guess their plan is, even if I have the ability to bounce the Thought-Knot Seer, just to recast it. Effectively here, all they're getting is Arboreal Grazer, which I don't particularly care about. Heal through the turn here. The option to Mystic Sanctuary back something if we want. How does that make things complicated? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. Play this out. It's 9. Put the command back on top, even though we have no intentions of actually using it. If I do this correctly, I don't think there's any way for them to interact on the stack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should have left one of the other mountains in play, huh? Yeah, we're gonna lose. Actually, I don't think we. All right, I actually should have left a mountain in play, so we got a little bit lucky. Our opponent didn't understand the use of Ghost Quarters and blowing that up. Because we had used the basic mountain in one of our stomping grounds, we actually didn't have enough mountains to insulate ourselves against double Ghost Quarter there. So sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, right? Unfortunately, Space Marine won't get his 05 wish, but it was still quite the grind fest there. This hand's interesting. Question is, Live Freddy's die slow? Lies low. Okay. So, some type of aggressive deck. Huh? Hollow one of some kind? This is going to be rough. So we lost one of our Valakites. We might just lose to this bloody non. So this has been an opening in like greatest hits of modern cards I hate between Leonin Arbiters and Burning Inquiries. Oh well. This is definitely not a matchup we're well situated against. Two, three, four, five, six, seven. There's the battlefield. Alright, well, let's start with casting Koala. Yes. Waddle, draw a card, man this stupid thing. Go to 2 and then kill you. Actually, no, I can't because I don't have Scapeshift in hand. Alright, there's a Coatl. Ugh. So by having to get back that thing, I couldn't get back the Scapeshift. So I can put the Scapeshift back on top, but then I don't have enough green mana to cast it this turn. I think I'm just supposed to snake here and hope. Can we draw something that keeps us alive? That qualifies something as something that keeps us alive, I suppose. Though we are just dead to bolt. Yep. Alright, Hollow One nonsense. Spell Pierce is reasonable against a lot of their draws. Anger of the Gods is pretty decent against everything in their deck but Hollow One. Could also potentially want Ether Gusts. Problem becomes, like, what cards do we not actually want? Cryptic Shield and Uro. Doesn't really feel like a Wrenn 6 matchup. Space Marine, I don't normally mind your sarcasm, but tonight, if you can't be, like, a little bit positive, just don't say anything. Like, I appreciate your opinion is this isn't a control deck, but just chill. Maybe we can afford the Ether Gusts here. Right, like that. So we're left with an interesting decision here on one. Do I just suspend? This land's obviously a keep, but I think we just take the risk. We don't hit an untapped land next turn and go ahead and suspend this, search for tomorrow, pass. I hate that card. Gives us the option to remand and hold up double bolt, or just fetch a tap land. Our opponent does nothing we care about. Get a blue land here. Yeah, I don't particularly care about Bolt here. To me, Burning Inquiry is far more annoying. You have a freaking Burning Inquiry. Two, three, four, five. So I think I made a mistake here. I think I should have played Mystic Sanctuary first and gotten back Remand here. I don't think it's going to punish us, but certainly could have. It's again holding back with Yorion because the damage from Yorion doesn't matter. Go ahead and remand that. So 1 mountain's in the graveyard. 2, 3, 4, 5. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. Now there's 10 total in the deck. So right now 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 are off the table, so that leaves me with 5 to go get. So this didn't play tapped. Scapeshift. Do that. And that. Sacrificing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, an opponent is conceding, sure. So on the draw, is there anything different that I can do? I could conceivably bring in Weather the Storm. To buy us a turn or two, but I don't think that's correct. Probably want Uro back in on the draw. We shave. The Cavern of Souls isn't necessary. This hand's a little bit awkward, but I still think we keep it. Hopefully we don't get... Actually, Burning Inquiry might improve our hand on one. Has like a Cathartic Reunion, maybe? Yep. Turn. Mainly to cycle Katira Triumph, Ketria Triumph. That's a thing, I suppose. Alright, there's Scapeshift, sure. That's going to make life difficult. We got Blood Moon Day. Sure. Losing 2 Astrolabe kind of sucks. Sure. Sure. Alright. Sure. Don't think we're winning this game, but at least we've made it moderately interesting. Yeah, Blood Moon should definitely have been on my radar. Sure. What you got, friend? So absurd. Lost one of our snow-covered forests. Sure. Well, I mean, if we ever find... Yeah, that's a thing. Yep. It's probably game over. Sure to leave this open in case we find... Alright, I mean... There isn't much of a chance, but you're saying there's a chance. Just kidding. Alright. Getting punked by Blood Moon. Losing to... It's like greatest hits of things in Magic that drive me insane. Losing to Leonin Arbiter, or playing against Leonin Arbiter decks and playing against Burning Inquiry. I think the only other thing that might be annoying is if we suddenly run into Lantern Control. Maybe I shouldn't jinx myself. Yeah, pretty much. How are you doing this evening? And Dodell? Did I say that correctly? Sounds a little bit awkward, but oh my. Looks like we're getting prowessed into the ground here. Looking for an untapped land, Does whatever an untapped land does. This is definitely a... Oh wow, do they only have one land? Nope, we couldn't get that lucky. Oh my. Oh my. That's a... That's a prowess hand if I've ever seen one. Oh man. Seal of Fire, that's unfortunate. Wow. Opponent with all the value. It's effectively a turn 3 kill almost, isn't it? And they have the lava dart too. Oh my. Are we just dead on turn 3? Yeah, if our opponent goes all in, we're dead here. Yep. Why can't my prowess draws look that good? Oh man. Alright, so definitely want Weather the Storm. Definitely want all the copies of Anger of the Gods. Probably want the Ether Gusts. Remain's not particularly good in this matchup. And then this is definitely not a Ren and 6 matchup. One more cut. Could debate between Cryptic Command and Cavern of Souls here. That was definitely a very abusive start by Prowess. Turn 3, we kill you. Guess we're making up for some of the time we burned through on that first match against Blackwood Eldrazi. At least these last couple of matchups have been pretty quick. Gotta be mindful of Blood Moon-ish. Did our opponent reveal Luris? I don't know if they did or not. I guess we better pay attention. If they don't reveal Luris this game, we should be mindful of Blood Moon. Alright, we'll be on the play. Looks like our opponent will be revealing Luris. We don't have to play around Blood Moon at least. Okay, opponent did reveal Luris. Seems fine. We have a Coatl or an Izzet Charm on 2, potentially. Search for Tomorrow on 1. Unfortunately, if I want to be able to cast both Search for Tomorrow and Izzet Charm, we have to fetch Shock. Yeah, if I grab Breeding Pool, I can cast both here. Seal of Fire on 1. Okay. A little bit slower start from our opponent. Growth Spiral is a nice happy medium, depending on what my opponent does here. Hey, I bet. Yep. Yeah, Growth Spiral here. Get Basic Island. Guess we do need to get a little bit lucky on hitting land drops. Puts that into play. Fetch a Triome here, I think. So we have 2 draw steps to hit a land to be able to Izzet Charm. I'm going to grab a basic island. Yeah. Well, that makes things a little awkward, but I still think we need to tap correctly. Just deal 2 damage to this guy and be done with it. So I guess Swiftspear was their top deck this turn. Really? Two, three, four, five, six. We just pass and hope for whatever reason our opponent doesn't exile the graveyard. Have it, sure. Okay, there's quite a few draws that would be nice here. Anger of the Gods would be nice to clear out their stuff. Scapeshift obviously would be nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Permanent growth, not so much. So do this. So actually stack the triggers incorrectly here. Had to do this and then this. Opponent, this is their last chance to activate that Soul Guide Lantern, and they do. Okay, put in a mountain. Not the worst draw, I suppose. Could still potentially be dead here. No, I don't want to put that into play. At this point, we have enough lands in play. I'm much more interested in cycling that next turn if we live this turn. Alright, looks like we're getting a 1-turn reprieve. Oh, never mind. They're bringing back Soul Guide Lantern. But I think we're pretty much on the either Anger of the Gods or Scapeshift or bust at this point. Cryptic Commands, I guess, could buy us a turn. Good chance I'm dead here. Opponent's got to brick really hard. Am I dead? Am I dead? Okay. Pretty sure that does it, right? Yep. Okie dokie. Oh well. 1 and 2 so far. Hope everybody's having a good evening wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is. Do we keep this hand? I guess. What was you? What deck were you on, Alan? Get breeding pool here. Suspend a search for tomorrow. What is on Luris? Okay. This deck, I don't know what to make of it. It reminds me of the 80 card, or the 60 card Bant Scapeshift piles. Or Bring to Light piles. It's got a lot of the same. The one we just played? Oh, okay. You blitz me in game 1, it happens. Like, this game's just gonna... You know, I kept a 1-lander on a couple of redraws and didn't hit there. Oh, we're up against Jund. Okay, we might have a little more time in that case. Dark Confidant, okay. Alright, that's a nice one. That allows me to go Lightning Bolt your Dark Confidant, hold up Remand. Or Coatl, or... Yeah. Yeah, well played. I mean, wasn't a whole lot I could have done there with what we got, so... Are they brutalitying us? Rough. Alright, they got Confidant back, which is annoying, but inevitably beatable. I think we just pass. Like, they Brutality, take our Scapeshift. Put it with a Hex Drinker. Okay. Right at 6, sure. Necro Spiral. Sure. Which one of my finest Scapeshifts would you like? About to say, really? You're about to attack your Dark Confidant into 3 known Ice Fang Coatls. Okay. Visit Charm's not terrible here. Yeah, just leave Coatl back. It's likely to either just eat a removal spell or force a down tick on Ren, but I think I'm okay with that.